with authority.
Hey, it's a live streamed edition of our With Authority podcast in quarantine. I am looking at a frozen picture of all of you guys, but Larry Bill, Chris Alvarez, Casey Pratt, and a frozen Arik Armstead of the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully the rest of you can see he's actually alive and well and not a stick figure that we just propped up in front of the camera to pretend we're doing an interview with him. But in any case, yes, welcome to 2020, Mr. Armstead. The NFL schedule came out yesterday, and I'm wondering if you are just like the rest of us and you went down the Niners list and went, okay, we open at home against Arizona, check, win, road games at Jets and Giants, win. Do you do that, or be as honest as you possibly can?
No, I mean, I look at the schedule. The first thing I look at is, kind of the order of opponents, and then, you got to see when we're going to have our bye week, and then see how, the division games are kind of scheduled. Those are always key. And then, I don't really look at it like, oh, mark, check, win. I mean, I think in the NFL, things change every year. Teams get better. So definitely not taking anybody lightly. We were 4-12 the previous year, and went 13-3. So I'm sure some teams had us on their schedule as check, win. So I'm definitely not looking at it like that.
That's the truth. All right, you just had a grin that made me think that. Yeah, you kind of do that, but no, you don't really want to say that. But that's all right. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you, and especially since all of my screens are frozen, I have no idea what your real emotions are at this point. Casey, ask your question because I'm just locked up in the internet world here.
Well, Larry struggles with his connection. I want to do a quick rundown here, Arik. I know there's a ton of football stuff we want to get to. There's so much we can ask you about, but I was looking at your community contributions here, and I mean, it's pretty impressive what you've been doing. 2019, you launched the Armstead Academic Project. Since the COVID-19 situation broke out, you did a chat with the mayor of Sacramento. You did your Eat 916, where you're trying to stimulate business in the local community. You're donating 200 breakfast burritos to UC Davis with Shaq Thompson. You're reading to classes and doing Zoom pop-ins, and you also have a Mother's Day thing coming up. So, I mean, I've been noticing what a lot of the athletes have been doing with this downtime, and you in particular have been very busy. So what's been your driving factor, your motivational factor here to really give back to everybody? Because what you've been doing is really over the top, and it's been a really great job.
Yeah, I think, for me, I've always had that passion about giving back to my community, being a big presence in the community, and people who need help, a situation like this, dealing with COVID, all those things just, get increased. People who are struggling, they're tenfold struggling now, and they need a helping hand. So that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love doing. And, any time I have, any way I can have an impact, I'm definitely going to, take that opportunity to do that. And I feel like it's a responsibility, that I put on myself.
How have you come up with some of these ideas? Like the Eat 916 thing was the first one that I really noticed. I thought that was a really cool concept because so many people are struggling right now to stay open and stay afloat financially.
Yeah, I mean, just, Sacramento, where I'm from, is made up of a bunch of small businesses and mainly restaurants. So just trying to figure out how I could, use my platform to, try to drive some business to them. And they employ a lot of people, not just, keeping the restaurant alive is saving jobs. So, that was huge to, I felt like it was needed to stimulate, the economy. Everybody is struggling in financially in that sense too. So we need to keep our businesses open the best way we can.
Arik, I went through your website today, and if you can tell people where that is, if they don't know where to find it, but just the list of things that you have, and why is this such an important thing? You kind of touched about it, being an athlete, but having a platform and having a say in what people are following and people are looking at you maybe for help, and you can provide resources to get people help.
Yeah, it's just really personally when I look at my life, and football is amazing, and football has given me so many opportunities to bless other people, and I really want to be remembered for helping to change lives and influence and impact people's lives in a positive way when it's all said and done. So, that's what I think success is how many people you can impact and make their lives better.
So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between football and off the field, but I heard a number of players discussing this recently because you guys have been active in the podcast world. How often do you think about the Super Bowl and being 6 minutes away from a ring, especially when you're spending a lot of time during the off season working out in Florida?
It was definitely a tough loss. Had an opportunity there to, do something special. Didn't end up getting it done, and that's how life works. You don't win them all. So, it was definitely tough. I watched the film, looked at how I could have been better on plays, and, I internalized that. And, I carry that into this season and striving to get back to the top and win that Super Bowl. So it's just motivation at the end of the day. I think we have a young, hungry team that we're not fazed by too much, and we're all excited and eager to get back out there and get back on the hunt, get back grinding, to put ourselves in a position to win a Super Bowl. This coming up year. So.
I personally probably looked at that 3rd and 15 play a dozen times from I don't know how many different angles. And I just, it's almost like I played the game, which obviously I did not. But it's just a crazy play. I'm just like, I think it was like a 15-step drop. Have you looked at that a bunch? I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. If you really look at every angle and the all 22, it's just like, what?
Yeah, it was. It was. That's what football is about. It's about making plays, and they made the play on that in that situation for sure. It seemed like Mahomes just dropped back as far as he could, and we had good pressure on the play. I think Defoe ended up hitting him after he threw the ball, but. They just made a play. They got good quarterback, good receivers. They had a good team, and that's just the way football goes sometimes.
Yeah, there might have been a holding call on that play that we won't go into because I don't want you to get fined.
Yeah, I think there was a couple holdings, but that's part of football. That's part of football too.
Yeah.
Arik, we were all in Miami for that game. Obviously, we are not on the team, but one thing I really started thinking about at the conclusion of the Super Bowl was this really didn't feel like the end of a run. It really feels like the beginning for you guys. So is that how you guys feel internally? I mean, this thing really seems like it's just getting started. I know losing a Super Bowl is really tough, but this seems like just a step towards the ultimate goal for you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think, some Super Bowl teams – it's kind of like all or nothing, all the eggs in the basket in this season. And then we've been able to, I think, with our leadership and our organization, retain a great part of our roster. And we're young, we're talented, and, we have the right mindset to get back there. And I think we have a great team and a great chance to get back there. So it wasn't like, after the game, our whole team was dismantled. And so I definitely think it is the part of the process for us as a team. And, I can't wait to see what we do in the future.
Now, looking at the roster, I remember after that game, Joe Staley was very emotional. He's now retired. Defoe is obviously traded, which has got to be extremely bittersweet. I mean, you ended up signing your contract right at the same time. But what does that leadership vacuum kind of do to the team? I know you still have a bunch of leaders. You got a bunch of young guys that are really coming up right now. So what's it going to be like kind of losing those guys, and how do you go forward?
Yeah, definitely tough losing those guys. I mean, Joe, the staple and for the organization for so many years, and Defoe, such an amazing player, and kind of, is definitely an irreplaceable player. So it's definitely going to be tough in that aspect. But in terms of our team, I feel everybody leads in certain ways, and this whole season, we didn't just rely on a couple guys to do that. When we needed a play to be made, guys all over the team made plays. When we needed someone to step up, it wasn't like we only had 3 guys to rely on to step up. I feel like we're a complete team. So I think we'll be able to pick it up in that aspect.
I think something that maybe is overlooked, we talk about the players changing, but the coaching staff stayed the same. I remember when Robert Saleh didn't get the job or get a head coaching job, Coach Shanahan was very upfront with, I'm glad he's still here, at least for another year. So what does Robert Saleh mean to that defense and having him back as you guys try to make another run to the Super Bowl?
Man, he means a lot. He's our leader. He puts us in positions to be successful out there, and also allows us to be ourselves and make plays. So, having his mind schematically, but also his mentality and his approach every day is huge for us, and we carry that onto the field.
What do you take from you went through the Super Bowl experience now, the whole week and all the things, the buildup? I know that as a media member, I went through it for my first time, and now I know how to go through it when you guys are back in Tampa Bay this year. So what would you change, or what did you learn as a player to handle all the off-the-field stuff before the game on Sunday?
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy experience. Just the spectacle of it all. It was definitely a crazy week, with all the obligations and stuff. But obviously it's part of it. A lot of people watching, a lot of media, kind of all eyes, biggest sporting event in the country. So that's what comes with it. And all you can do is prepare the best way you can. It's obviously my first time in the Super Bowl. I know other guys have gone to multiple Super Bowls and, probably more prepared for it and know what to do. But for me, I just try to stay mentally locked in and, try to keep somewhat of a routine that I had, even though that was kind of impossible with all the obligations.
I'll ask another one because Larry seems to be frozen. I want to ask you about, with Mother's Day around the corner, Arik, what you're doing. And I think we lost Larry for now. Mother's Day, what are you doing with Mother's Day, and why is that so important to you on Sunday?
Yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity on Sunday. I really want to encourage youth to continue to keep up with their schoolwork during this time. I know it's a challenge, and a lot of students get disengaged. With an adjustment, and kids get disengaged even when school is regular. But with everything being from home and online, it's going to be even tougher. So we're going to do some virtual reading with my mother to some students, and it's Mother's Day, and it's amazing what parents can do in terms of having a big impact on their kids' lives and promoting reading and education in their lives, and reading together and enjoying that together. So I'm going to enjoy some time reading with my mom virtually on Mother's Day, and hopefully we can steer some people to do that together with their family. So I think it's going to be an awesome time.
Do you have any favorite kids' books? I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, so I spend a lot of time reading to them, especially before nap time and bedtime. And I know you've been popping in on elementary schools, and you have more submissions coming, and you're going to be on the 49ers Instagram reading with your mom. So what are some of your favorite kids' books, or do you kind of just have people that give them to you and you try them out?
Yeah, I've done a few of these readings. Corduroy, I remember from when I was a kid, and kids still seem to love that. So that one sticks out. My fiance's favorite is, I think it's called How Much I Love You, or something like that. And then what else? I actually have a nickname. My family nickname is Puff, from Puff the Magic Dragon. My dad used to read that to me.
Nice.
So that's definitely up there on the list, probably number one.
Now, speaking of your dad, wasn't he a basketball trainer? Didn't he train famous basketball players? Who are some of the guys that he trained that we might have heard of?
Yeah, my dad has been training guys my entire life. Some guys you guys might know, Bobby Jackson, Matt Barnes, Ryan Anderson, DeMarcus Cousins, bunch of guys over the years, a lot to name, guys that came through the gym, and was a blessing for me to be around them at a young age. And they really made being a professional athlete attainable for me, just being around them, and then, being down to earth guys, and, seeing what hard work can do for your life, and you can get there. So.
I actually worked with Bobby Jackson at NBC Sports Bay Area doing Kings pre- and post-game shows, and I know you're a big Kings fan, so I guess this is a two-parter. How into the Kings are you, and how much do you hate the Golden State Warriors?
I'm definitely into the Kings. Kings, I'm from Sacramento. I take pride in being from there, and the Kings have been such a staple in our community for so many years. So big Kings supporter, want them to do extremely well for our city. I'm not a Warrior hater, I wouldn't say. They they play good basketball, and it'll be exciting to see them get back to full strength and see what that does in the NBA, and kind of, once Clay and Steph get back, and they should have a pretty good draft pick. So it'll be interesting to see when they all get back, what they can do in the NBA, because the West is loaded for sure.
Arik, in all reality, this has really been, at least shelter in place, it's been 2 months. It's felt like an eternity. But what are some things that you're really missing, or did you have any events, trips planned that you had to cancel or push? Like, what has happened to you in the last 2 months as far as shelter in place goes?
Yeah, it's been kind of rough in that aspect. I was getting married, so we had to cancel our wedding and try to reschedule that. That's probably the biggest one that we still trying to figure out. And nobody's life is normal now. I want some normalcy, and I really want some normalcy, just working out and getting back on a regular schedule, and preparing for the season. But yeah, that's been a challenge for me and my fiance too.
I have a friend that's scheduled to get married in August, late August, and we're looking at that. Kind of like football season. It seems hopeful. We might be able to get back to that. But when were you supposed to get married, and where do you –
I was supposed to get married in June.
Okay.
So in Italy, actually. So, that's kind of out. So we're trying to reschedule for, like you said, maybe sometime this summer, when things open back up, not in Italy, but somewhere in the U.S. So see what happens.
How cool would it be to replace her ring with a Super Bowl ring? You can just trade it out. Timing might work out real nice.
That would be a good trade.
Casey?
Yeah, along those lines, what are your thoughts of the new additions, being Trent Williams and Kinlaw, who just got drafted, who you're going to play alongside? So what have you thought about the moves that the 49ers have made to kind of bolster your run for next year?
I thought it was great moves. I think Kinlaw is definitely going to bring a lot to the team, and can't wait to see, how his career goes, and coming in and working hard and helping us up front on the defensive side. And Trent, Trent is was arguably the best left tackle in the NFL for multiple years. So I know he's going to bolster our offensive front a bunch, and I'm excited to get out there to practice and play against him, and get better. So yeah, I think they did some great things with the draft, with trades, and I'm really excited for this year coming up.
One of the things I noticed when Joe retired is George put out that video, and he was essentially in tears at the end of it. And you guys have such a tight locker room, and obviously there's some moves that are made. But one thing that retired players always say is they miss the locker room. And how important, Arik, is the locker room, and just having those guys. You're not around them. You should be almost, in some mini camps and OTAs. So talk about your locker room, even though it changes year to year, how important guys like Staley are, and just like the love you guys have for each other and trying to win a championship.
Yeah, we have a really close team, and I know, seasons can get long, so, may get tired of being around each other every day. But we have a lot of fun, and I know a lot of guys, especially me, are missing being around each other and getting back to normalcy and getting back to football and joking around in the locker room because we have a really fun job. So it's pretty unique where we can do something that we love to do, hang out with our peers, crack jokes, and have a lot of fun. So I know everybody's looking forward to getting back to that.
We got some questions coming in on our live stream, so I'm going to ask on the behalf of some people. But a fan, Craig, wants to know what you think about playing in New Orleans again, because last time was crazy, and then also playing the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be crazy again. NOLA was definitely the loudest stadium I've ever played in. Just the dome and their fans, and the sound doesn't escape anywhere. So definitely excited to play there again. Last year was a crazy game, so they got a great team. I'm sure it's going to be, playoff implications again and all that. So it's going to be super fun. And Dallas, yeah, that's going to be, of course, a fun game too. They have a great team, and playing in Dallas is, Niners and Cowboys have somewhat of a rivalry going, and I know the fans are all going to be excited for that one and make that a crazy atmosphere too. So I can't wait to play in both those games.
We have big news. Larry has rejoined.
Hey, what did I miss the past 10 minutes while I was restarting everything? Did you get anything good going here? What was the conversation about?
It's amazing. Why don't you ask as many questions as you want, and then we'll just give you a buzzer sound if it's already been covered.
Did you talk about playing basketball at Oregon?
No. Go ahead.
No?
That's a good question.
And my screen is frozen again. So, man, I better get my shots in while I can here. So I assume you weren't 290 when you –
Arik, how was basketball at Oregon?
Yeah.
career and who did your – what? Why is this so funny? Why is that? That was not a funny question. I don't know why they're really laughing. Huh?
Because you froze.
Oh, man. All right. This is just, what's crazy is that I did an hour Zoom podcast with somebody else just before this, and it was so smooth. It was like silky smooth. It was absurd. So anyway, I may bail out of this just to save everybody at some point here. But if you could still hear me, when you were at Oregon and you played basketball for a while, did you ever think about a possible NBA career? And I assume you were lighter than 290 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I love basketball. I played both growing up. My dream as a adolescent was to play in the NFL and the NBA. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely love basketball too, and was competitive in that sport too. So, playing there, having an opportunity to play a little bit in college, be on the team was a fun experience.
Who did your game most closely resemble if you were talking about an NBA player?
I think my position was it's kind of becoming obsolete, really. Like a true skilled power forward, post up player, but could shoot a little bit. I would say I like Boris Diaw's game.
Okay.
He was a skilled, big body, could pass, shoot, dribble a little bit, play in the post.
Yeah, Boris Diaw had a pretty sneaky low post game. He was quite effective. Did you guys cover a June wedding yet? Did you guys talk about that?
We did talk about the June wedding.
Wow, sorry.
What else you got, Larry?
Well, here's the thing. This is so weird because, you missed 10 minutes of a conversation. I have no idea what has been going on here. I wish we had a camera on me, just almost smashing the computer. So your fiance has quite the Instagram following. She has more followers than you, huh?
Yeah, she does.
And she's going to be a doctor?
Yeah, she is a doctor already.
She is a doctor?
Yes.
What is her situation with respect to because I don't know her specialty. I just know she got her degree in Buffalo, right?
Yeah, she got her degree in Buffalo. She's in residency right now, finishing up. She's in psychiatry, and she's moving to Sacramento, where I'm from, of course. She's going to be starting her fellowship to specialize in child and adolescent psychiatry. So she'll be working with youth at UC Davis Med Center in Sacramento, starting in July.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I was wondering, because I saw a doctor, I didn't know what specialty and whether she was dealing with coronavirus or anything like that. I did see, based on her Instagram account, she already had her bachelorette party, which is way early, right? Like in February, and
she got over on me on that one.
She got in just before the shutdown occurred, right? And so here you are. Have you had your party yet, or no?
No, I haven't. I was so focused on making sure, I don't really care, but I was, that's a big deal for girls. So I was making sure that, she was trying to make sure she was taken care of. And then I was going to do something a little later on, but didn't get around to it, of course.
So are you going to have a Zoom wedding, or what are you thinking at this point?
Trying to reschedule for like July-ish. Hopefully things are open back up, and maybe they raise the number of people gathering you could have, and we could have something a little smaller maybe in July. So that's what we're hopeful for, but I don't know. We're kind of still figuring that out.
All right. It looks like my connection is stable at this point, so I'll let the other guys jump in here. This is it's just, it's 2020. It's just a little bit frustrating to try to do this, but we're forging ahead. We're not going to be stopped by bad Wi-Fi, are we?
Nah, I mean, this is what technology is for. We gotta get through it. It's been a little adversity, but we're good.
Right. It's just like an offensive lineman holding you.
Right.
You just got,
You're holding me right now.
Getting held.
I'm frozen again. I can't.
He's getting held.
I'm being held. I'm being ref. I'm being held by my Wi-Fi. Come on, Casey, talk. I got nothing.
I got you. So I wanted to know, actually, because you do have the Bills on the schedule. You said your wife is from Buffalo, so I mean that's got to be one that's exciting, right? Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I mean, her family was Bills fans before I entered the picture. Now I converted all of them, but I'm sure there'll still be, Bills are number 2 now for them. So I'm sure they'll still be excited. They'll probably all, try to come out for that game, Monday night game too. So.
Yeah, that game's actually it's going to be on ABC and ESPN, so we're excited about that. I want to ask you about the draft, your draft situation when it happened for you, and thankfully Larry wasn't a part of the 49ers organization. They weren't making their picks because who knows what would have happened with the Wi-Fi. But sorry, Larry, I had to. That's the one time it could be funny today. Take me back to your draft experience, and then also what you thought it was like for these guys that I don't know if they were raw, but it was a different experience for them virtually this year.
Yeah, I mean, the draft seemed pretty, beyond the being able to walk across the stage part. I mean, I had a similar experience. I was fortunate enough, to have a party, after I was drafted and everybody could gather. But, I was in a hotel room, watching it with my family. Had some media there, some cameras there to capture it. But I pretty much had a similar draft experience. So, I think I think this draft will be remembered forever for sure. Hopefully we can get back to normalcy next year.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment? Like, you pinch yourself and say, like, I'm actually here. I'm realizing my dream. Is there a specific moment you can go to, like, I made it?
I guess my first preseason game, and walking in and my jerseys on the pads and stuff like that was we played the Houston Texans my first preseason game. So I would probably say it was like, kind of a wow moment.
When you signed the contract extension, was that the second time? Yeah, that was a pretty nice moment too. Based on the numbers that I'm looking at here, pretty significant.
I saw the taxes and I was hurt actually.
Yeah. You're not actually in your tax bracket. You're getting crushed. I mean, I'm having a hard time feeling that sorry for you, to be honest.
Not feel sorry, but entering the league and then you see what taxes are really about, and that's a awakening too.
Well, yeah, I mean, because suddenly 5 for 85 becomes 5 for 42.5, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Instantly, yeah.
Yeah, you get by on that though. You get by on that.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Yeah. Did you buy anything special when you saw? I mean, I know you were making pretty good money before that for an average human, but this is obviously way more. Buy anything special? Do anything special?
No, I really haven't done anything yet. Can't really do too much right now. But I really haven't. I really don't have any crazy plans or anything. Just a blessing to be comfortable and my family to be prosperous in the future. So
it's awesome. You're so young, and you have the ability now to take care of generations of your family, which is the most awesome thing, I believe. Anyway, you may have touched on this while I was trying to reconnect 75 times, but when you got that deal, did you? I know you're friends with Defo. Did you guys know that it's one is going to stay and one is going to go, because the numbers just don't add up with everybody else's contracts that are going to be coming, like George Kittle's got to get paid and other guys. And did you guys have that conversation at all? Like, I don't know how this is going to go.
No, we really didn't. I mean, I didn't see it playing out that way, but it was definitely bittersweet. Extremely happy for him, and he deserved that contract. And I wish it was with us and we could continue to play together. But I know he's going to do great things there in Indy, and everything happens for a reason. So we kind of just looked at it like that.
Yeah. You guys talk about Kinlaw while I was away?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see all these notes? I had a lot of great questions here, but they probably asked them all already. So while I was
actually, my last one to Arik is there's a lot of talk. We don't know. We're still months away, but there is talk that potentially there might not be fans in the stands with the games. Are you up to play in that kind of environment? And how important is the fan experience for guys like you that can kind of feed off of it and noise and stuff of that nature with the fans?
I mean, super huge. I mean, not playing with fans would definitely be not ideal. And, even joint practices has fans. So it would definitely be weird. I would understand if we had to. The number one thing is people's safety and health, and figuring that out. And we would still be able to perform for fans, via TV and streaming and all that. But it would definitely be weird.
The last question for me, Arik, because I know we got to let you go here. You got a lot going on, but what are you doing to fill the time, man? What are you binge watching? What games are you playing? What's going on at home for you?
I've watched a bunch of series. Finished Ozark. I watched Big Little Lies.
It's a good show.
No. I'm sorry. I have watched Big Little Lies, but I finished Little Fires Everywhere. I get those confused. Little Fires Everywhere, of course. Tiger King. A show called 000. It's if you guys ever seen Sicario, the movie, it's the same directors, so it's like a TV version of it. Yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff going on that I've been watching.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. And again, it's like I'm looking at all the stuff you're doing in the community, and it's like we have a whole page here. There's so many things you're doing. So, I mean, I think that's absolutely awesome, and it's so good in this time especially to really help out. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. We'll just keep Larry out of this at this point.
I'm back.
Kind of frozen, sort of kind of here. But anyways.
Well, one more before we let you – oh, okay.
Can we
We'll try one more. I'll all this. This will be great.
20 minutes ago, your name, the spelling of your name instead of Arik. How did your parents come up with that? And did you? Because people are probably confused about how to say it all the time. What made them to go Arik?
My mom chose it. It was actually supposed to be Aric, but when I was born, the nurse or something wrote it down wrong, so they just C instead of a K. So they just stuck with it, and yeah, that's what my mom chose. We're all my whole family is AKA, so I'm Arik Christian Armstead, and so yeah, Christian with the K.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's definitely distinctive, and well, you're pretty distinctive yourself at 6'7", 290. You're not going to blend in, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's been great almost talking with you. Because literally on my side, pretty much every 15 seconds, the screen, a few seconds and the last few seconds of the answer, and I'm going to be fascinated when I get to listen to this podcast, because I have no idea what's happened here over the past 30 minutes or so. But it's been fun. Casey, just finish this, because nobody.
I'll end on this. Larry has been about as much of a train wreck as the man they call Joe Exotic. Train wreck.
Definitely.
Anyways, Arik, thanks so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate everything you're doing, and we hope to see you in person so we don't have to deal with this delay anymore.
I know. Everybody stay safe. Talk to you guys soon, hopefully here in person.
Thanks for your Wi-Fi, Arik. We appreciate you.
Hotel Wi-Fi.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye.
With authority.